All right, I'd like to call the Griffith Town Council meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Marker will now read the names of any police officers that have been murdered since our last meeting.
Deputy Sheriff Dominique Collada of the Pierce County Department of the Sheriff, Washington, D.C., State of Washington, end of watch Wednesday, March 16th, cause of death, gunfire. Sergeant Barbara Majors Finley of the Eastland County Sheriff's Office, Texas, end of watch Thursday, March 17th, cause of death, fire. Trooper Martin Francis Mack III of the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania, end of watch Monday, March 21st, cause death, vehicular assault. Trooper Brandon T. Siska, also the Pennsylvania State Police, end of watch, also Monday, March 21st, cause of death, vehicular pursuit. Police Officer Dan Rocha of the Everett Police Department, Washington, end of watch, Friday, March 25th, cause of death, gunfire. Police Officer Dominic Francis of the Bluffton Police Department, Ohio, end of watch Thursday, March 31st, vehicular pursuit. Lieutenant William Lebo of the Lebanon City Police Department, Pennsylvania, end of watch Thursday, March 31st. Deputy Sheriff Darren Almendarez of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Texas, end of watch Thursday, March 31st, cause of death, gunfire. Deputy Constable Jennifer Chavez of the Harrison County Constable's Office, Precinct 7, Texas, end of watch Saturday, April 2nd, cause of death, vehicular assault.
Pastor Stephen Sluter will now lead us in opening prayer.
Thank you, Rick. Heavenly Father, we just come before you tonight. We just ask for the strength and the comfort and the peace for the families and the friends of these officers who have given their life in the line of duty since our last meeting. We do thank you once again tonight for all your blessings to us, your goodness to us individually and to our community. We ask for tonight's session that, Lord, that your will would be accomplished in all things, that your grace will be upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
We have the roll call, please.
Councilmember Jim Marker,
Present.
Councilmember Larry Balla,
Present.
Council President Rick Griffith,
Present.
Councilmember Melissa Robbins,
Present.
Councilmember Tony Hudson.
Present.
Each member receives a copy of the March 15th minutes. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We have the claims, please.
Claims from various funds in the amount of $1,462,982.19.
I move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Could we have the announcements, please?
We have one announcement for this evening. The next town council meeting will be on Tuesday, April 19th at 7 p.m. There will be a study session before the meeting at 6:30 and one will follow if necessary.
Good. We have several communications today.
I have the first one. Imagine Griffith will be holding the town-wide garage sale May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. You can register at imaginegriffith.org and make a motion that we waive the permits for those town garage sales.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next communication.
I have that, Mr. President, from the Griffith Youth Baseball Organization. The letter Griffith Town Council. The Griffith Youth Baseball Board of Directors would like to hold an annual opening day parade on May 7th. The parade will line up and will begin in the Franklin Center parking lot at 8:30 a.m. The parade route will begin at 9 o'clock and will last approximately 45 minutes. We will travel east down Lake and then turn and head north down Broad Street until reaching Pine. Parade will end at the Griffith Major League Baseball fields, requesting with your assistance that the adjoining streets be blocked off for 2 hours in the morning. Griffith Youth Baseball Organization will also contact Griffith Police for help coordinating road closures and signage to prohibit street parking during this event. We're including other sports organizations and businesses in the town to participate. We are including other sport organizations and businesses in the town to participate in the parade. Man, I'm tired of reading today. We thank you in advance for your help in this matter and taking time to consider our request. I make a motion approving the Griffith Youth Baseball Parade on May 7th from 9 a.m. to approximately 9:45 with the assistance of police.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. We have one more communication.
Yes, the Griffith Isaac Walton League is asking permission to hang banners for a wild game dinner on April 9th at the Halls of St. George. I'd like to make a motion that we allow them to hang the banners for 2 weeks, seeing as the event is within 2 weeks. I think that would be appropriate. So I'd like to make the motion to allow them to hang the banners.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Reports, any public works?
Couple of things, obviously the sidewalk project is in full force and continue all summer, just look for updates, maps and everything that's on the website. We'll keep it up to date of where we're going and what direction it's heading. April 18th, we will again start water meter replacement. We're on target for that. Letters have gone out to the residents in zone 1. Zone 1 is posted on our website again, and we'll start scheduling appointments. And that again will go roughly through end of October to replace all the water meters in town. The last thing I had was road work for our CCMG project. We're going to be looking to start that for the streets again. Everything will be posted up. It's updated on the website for those streets that are involved in mid-May with completion by end of August.
Thank you. There is no police report, fire, building commissioner.
No report.
There's no finance report. This time we take public comment on any items we're about to vote or address on. There'll be time for public comment after the meeting on anything else. Does anybody have a question or comment on the agenda items? All right, we will move straight to new business. The first item would be the Redevelopment Commission Annual Report. We have Reedy, the representative from Reedy Financial Parker is on Zoom. If you can give us a short synopsis of the report, and then we'll enter it into our minutes.
Absolutely. Good evening, council. As Rick mentioned, my name is Parker Criswell with Reedy Financial Group. Tonight is going to be running through the 2021 financial report for Griffith's Redevelopment Commission. This is the second reporting requirement owed by the RDC to the state to make sure that we stay in compliance with everything. So that being said, I will jump through the necessary items and then have any questions at the end. I'd be more than happy to answer them. So I'm just going to jump through the report that I have in front of me here. The Griffith downtown allocation area started the year with $109,000. Had a surplus of the year of $116,000 and ended the year with $225,000. The Griffith consolidated allocation area began the year with $154,000. Surplus on the year of $34,000, and then it had a year-end fund balance of $188,000. The only other fund that the RDC has direct oversight over is the redevelopment non-reverting fund. This began the year with $108,000, surplus $43,000, and then ended the year with $152,000. Another piece of this reporting requirement is a debt overview for the Redevelopment Commission. I can confirm that any debt obligations that the RDC did have for the year of 2021 were successfully paid. No delinquencies or any kind. So those were all checked off. The only other thing that's included in the report that will be uploaded to the state's website, to Gateway, will be Griffith's parcel list. What I can say at this point is that assessed value wise for Griffith's Redevelopment Commission in 2020, so looking 2 years prior, the AV was right at about 13.5 million. Due to continued growth within Griffith and then business activity. Last year, we saw that number increase to 15.5 million. And then looking further ahead at 2022, we're suspecting AVs to jump even more significantly and hopefully landing in the realm of closer to $20 million as far as assessed value goes. So constant revenue growth, items are being checked up as needed, and that pretty much covers this report. Are there any questions the council might have?
I don't. Anybody?
I have none.
All right, well, thank you, Parker.
Absolutely.
We will accept the report as presented and enter it into our minutes as received. Next on the item, we have Erica Powers with Barnes and Thornburg. Before we address the issue there, we have a consent decree between the town of Griffith and the United States EPA, as well as United States Department of Justice. This has been going on for a couple of decades, I believe. We've finally culminated in a decree that is acceptable both to the agencies, federal agencies and state agencies. So Eric, if you could take a few minutes just to give a summary of what we're about to be presented with.
Absolutely. So this evening, we are seeking authorization for Rick as Town Council President to sign the proposed consent decree on behalf of the town. This is the result, as Rick indicated, of a number of years of negotiation over alleged Clean Water Act violations relating to historic sanitary sewer overflows, or SSOs, from the Klein Avenue Basin to the Little Calumet River. The consent decree includes a civil penalty for past violations going back to 2013 of about $33,000, half of which is paid to the state and half of which is paid to the U.S., and requires action on the part of the town in 3 areas. The first is to fix potential sources of inflow and infiltration into the collection system within Griffith. The second is to increase pumping capacity by adding a wet weather pump station at the corner of River Drive and Klein Avenue, and also building a new force main from that wet weather pump station to HSD's Kennedy ejector lift station. Those 3 things were deemed necessary during our negotiations with the agencies to make sure that those SSOs do not continue into the future. And Griffith has until October 1st of 2026 to complete the work. The consent decree also includes measures addressing SSO reporting and requires a public website where the consent decree and all supporting documents will be posted, as well as SSO notifications. And will also require the town to develop a capacity management, operation and maintenance, or CMOM program, to make sure that the sewer collection system is operated and maintained effectively.
All right, thank you, Erica. And as far as the cost of this, initially, when we began negotiations, probably almost a decade ago, the EPA and the DOJ was asking us to build a basin. So it would be essentially a 10 to 15 million gallon basin up by the golf course. The cost for that would probably far exceed $25 million, probably closer to $30 or $35 million today. And did we have the estimated cost from the engineers for the alternative method that we're going to use?
Yes. So the I&I reduction efforts that we need to do for our collection system, the estimate was $211,000. And then the wet weather pump station and the additional force main to send 15.5 MGD to HSD for treatment instead of 5.5 MGD is between 13.7 and 14.4 million.
Okay, I read that. That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure we had those.
Yep.
So essentially, by negotiating for 10 years, we saved the town half the price if we're looking for alternative methods. Oh, very good. All right, we let Sure, we were not in the middle of a motion.
That basin that's being used, and you're saying it's at Klein Avenue by the golf course, you're talking about where the old, right there on Klein
Yes,
Avenue?
there's a basin there now, 4.5 million gallons.
Okay, is that clean water basin or is that sewage?
That would be sewage, and then it's cleaned after it's been used. It's used very infrequently. That would be if we would prevent an overflow, is the purpose for that. An overflow would be when we pump into the river.
That's my neighborhood right there too, so I'm not gonna smell anything from there, right?
No, you would smell it now if you were gonna smell anything.
Okay.
And
All
this,
right, just wanna
no, let me,
clarify,
yeah,
because
and
I
let,
don't want my neighborhood to have any kind of
Yeah,
smell.
I know I know it's confusing when you hear everything all at once, but what it was requested of us and our engineers at the time had suggested we build approximately a 15 million gallon, 15 million gallon basin to hold extra water. We didn't think that was a real good idea. One, because it's very expensive. Two is we don't know what future mandates would be on the basin. So it could cost us more than $1 million a year to maintain a basin. You know, and then maybe in 20 years from now, another government takes, or not a government, but different administration comes in and says those are illegal as well. So we would have wasted $25-30 million. That would be on the other side of Klein Avenue. This would be on our property on the golf course. So we were pretty adamant that we would look at, we didn't want to go that alternative if we could find something else. We worked with Hammond very, very closely, and we found alternative solutions that's ultimately going to save not only Griffith, Hammond, Highland, and Whiting dollars, and Munster as well. It won't even be contained. It'll be sent away from Griffith at 15.5 million, at a rate of 15.5 million gallons a day if we have to go that high. So, all right, okay. All right. Mr. Bowell, I believe you have the consent decree.
Yes, I do. And I'd like to make a motion that we accept the consent decree and allow President Reifert to sign.
Gladly second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? And I believe this will be posted on our website within 24 hours of tonight. So I'll probably be up there, if not tonight, tomorrow morning, if anybody want to take a look at it. And other than that, we would then be bound by to enforcement. So any other comments or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. All right, we go to the next item, Ms. Robbins.
And I have a general service agreement with BF&S on the lake, or the Erie Lake Awana trailhead improvements for inspection services that will not exceed $46,000. I make a motion that we approve President Rick Rifa to sign this general service agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Once again, this is for the project that will be on the 100 block of South Broad Street that will work with the trailhead to expand the parking, bring the trail to the back of the businesses, satisfy a lawsuit that was 15 years old in the makings in order to some issues with that we're back there with one of the property owners. So this be a good thing, nice improvement for the area. Any other comments or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Bally, you have the next item.
I have an amendment to license for jogging, hiking, and bicycle trail. This is our NIPSCO agreement, 38539-A. And this is just modifying our original agreement, just it's minor things, but we have to go through the formality. So the amendments are nominal. It's not going to cost us any more money per se. So I would make a motion that we accept this amendment and allow President Reifert to sign the amendment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? And this would be for the project we just spoke about.
Yes.
So, all right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, Mr. Marker, you have the next item.
I do ordinance number 2022-12. This is a second reading. This ordinance is amending the town's code, chapter 78, utilities, article 2, water service division 1, generally in section 78 to 37. Instead of reading this whole thing, it says, now therefore be it ordained by the town council of the town of Griffith, the town code chapter 78 utilities, article 3, water service division 1, generally section 78 through 37, shall be replaced in its entirety to read as follows. The properly authorized representative of the town's water utility shall have the right to enter upon the property of the customer at all reasonable times for the purpose of inspecting cross connections, protective devices, atmospheric tank installations, booster pumps, vacuum breaker valves, and general plumbing as well for the purpose of reading, inspecting, repairing, or replacing the meter. The customer refuses access to the customer's. If the customer refuses access to the customer's property for purpose of this section, the utility may discontinue service to the property until access is made available. A utility representative shall have proper credentials on the person at all times, and the town water utility may adopt rules to implement this process as well. This refers back to Mr. Rab discussing how the water meters will be installed beginning April 18th. And essentially, this is putting penalties on not giving us, allowing us access to put in said meters. As I stated earlier, as a second reading, I make a motion approving ordinance number 2022-12.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Hobson, you have the next item.
I do. I have ordinance number 2022-14. An ordinance amending Town Code Chapter 78, Utilities, Article 1 in general, Section 78-38 entitled Shut Off Mechanism Backflow Protection Device Required, repealing all ordinances and Town Code sections or parts thereof in conflict herewith, and all matters related hereto. What this really does is for your sprinkler, instead of being forced to test it every 6 months, we're going to fall in accordance with what most other communities are doing and require that once a year. I'd like to go ahead and make the motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-14 as this is a second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Robbins, you have the next item.
I do have ordinance 2022-15, additional appropriations. Whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money that was appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, section 1, be it resolved that the town of Griffith, Lake County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated of the funds named for the purposes specified, subject to the laws and governing the same. American Rescue Plan, amount requested $6,862.32. Since this is the first reading, I would like to make a motion that we waive the rules on entering this tonight.
You want to suspend the rules?
Suspend the
We have a
rules.
motion and a second to suspend the rules. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Jim Marker,
In favor.
Councilmember Larry Bella,
In favor.
Council President
In
Rick
favor.
Greifa, Councilmember Melissa Robbins.
In favor.
Councilmember Tony Hobson.
In favor.
All right, the rules have been suspended.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2022-15, additional appropriations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All this is allowing us to send some of the COVID money that we received, and we needed to create appropriation in order to be able to spend it at whatever fund that it's going to. So, any other comments or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Ballard.
I have resolution 2022-17, a resolution of the town council adopting a plan for distribution of the proceeds of the town's grant from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Just so you know, the town of Griffith has been awarded a grant from the American Rescue Plan in the amount of $3,632,769.24. And half of that was received in 2021. The remaining amount will be sent this year. And what we're doing is putting a plan together to show the government where we spent this money. There's certain things we can and cannot do. And the bulk of the money we will be using for the replacement of the water main on the south side of town, and the meter replacement that's been talked about so much tonight. So I make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? And Andy, correct me on the numbers if I'm way too off, but I think the water meters are in between 2.4 and 2.6 million to replace all the water meters in town for every resident and business. And the water main is about $1 million.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Next item would be Mr. Marker.
Resolution 2022-18, a resolution transfer appropriations. Essentially, we're transferring $565.52 from the levy access fund to the general fund. I make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-18, the transfer of appropriations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Hobson, you have the next couple items.
Yes, I have the next three items. Just a general statement before I go through the three items. We're going to be proposing to build a new town hall, police department, and if possible, upgrade to the fire department, depending on funds. And to do so, it saves the town a lot of money to create a building corporation and have the building corporation go out for bonding, which we already have done. Okay. And the town then leases the town hall from the building corporation. And in some mathematical way, we save a lot of money. Okay. So know that before I go into these three items, it'll make a little more sense. All right. So the first one that I have is resolution number 2022-19. This is a resolution of the town council of the town of Griffith, Indiana, establishing a fund for proceeds to be received from the sale of real estate to the town of Griffith Building Corporation and making an appropriation from such fund. So in general, any proceeds we receive can go into this fund, and we can also put some seed money in there, I believe in the sum of $700,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-19.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries.
All right, the next resolution is number 2022-20. This is a resolution of the town council of the town of Griffith, Indiana, approving execution of lease and related matters. In summary, this will allow the town of Griffith to sign a lease with the town of Griffith Building Corporation. So I'd like to make a motion approving resolution number 2022-20.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
Thirdly, we have an actual lease from the town of Griffith Building Corporation and the town of Griffith, Indiana. And I would like to make a motion authorizing the town council president, Rick Rifa, to sign the lease with the town of Griffith Building Corporation.
Actually, Mr. Hobson, this would be for the entire council to authorize.
Oh, I apologize then. I'd like to amend my motion authorizing the town council to sign the lease with the Griffith Building Corporation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item would be Ms. Robbins.
I have an advertisement to bidders for the 2022 road construction materials contract. This is our yearly bid for the roads and the sidewalks, concrete and asphalt, that they will be accepted until May 17th. And we will open them at the council meeting on that night. Bid documents may be obtained electronically from the offices of Butler, Fairman, and Seifert. I make a motion that we authorize town council president to sign the advertisement to bidders.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. And Mr. Bala?
I have an interlocal cooperation agreement for the purchase of engineering and other services, supplies, and equipment for mutual benefit. This is agreement between the town of Griffith and the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission in regard to the repair replacement of the Katy Marsh Ditch Diversion Sewer Intake Screen Breaker Project. The Little Calumet, the LCRBDC has,
I'm glad you got that one.
yeah, has approved a sum of maximum $140,000 to put up for the engineering. This is not the actual construction of the replacement, it's just the engineering. So I make a motion that we accept this agreement and allow Mr. Rifa, President of the Council, to sign it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, the motion carries. Mr. Hobson, if you can go back to that resolution. I was in error. The resolution requires a signature of all the town council. However, the lease specifically lists the town council president as the leasee to sign. So if you can clean it up and make a motion to allow that to
So you would
happen.
like me to re-amend to my original motion?
Or just-
I will make another motion on the lease agreement between the town of Griffith and the Griffith Building Corporation, authorizing the town council president, Rick Rifa, to sign said lease.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Going to page 2. Sidewalk replacement program. I believe Mr. Rab had covered that. It has started full force. The trees have been taken down for the year. We are aware that there are probably more trees that do need to be taken down as the project proceeds. We are going to put a plan together to address that when we're able to do that, or whenever we're allowed to start taking trees would be, I think, October 15th is the date. So there are stipulations that don't allow us as a town to take those down between April 1st and October 15th. So we will have a plan in place before October and hopefully address that. I think it would be best that if somebody has a certain circumstance and you believe your tree needs to be taken down, please contact Town Hall or the Public Works Department and we can get you on the list and we'll have it looked at. We're still, Aviation Advisory Committee is still meeting. The Hammond Water True Ups, actually, we have settled that. Our rates are finalized with Hammond. It was a substantial increase, but we are finalized. And we have to address the Town Hall PD construction. So this time we would go straight to a water board meeting. So we have one item on the agenda, but I would like to, if we can take note of the attendance, all members of the council or all members of the water board are in attendance. We have one item would be to approve some claims.
We have February claims totaling $41,999.50. We have March 15th claims that total $77,183.01. And then April 5th claims totaling $46,500.98.
I make a motion to approve those claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Any other business from the water board? All right, we will adjourn that meeting and now go back to the town council meeting for a public comment. If anybody has a public comment on anything at all, please just state your name and you don't have to. but-
Jan O'Brien. While I was here, I did want to mention to Andy, because you worked with us, we had our sidewalk replaced already. I know I think you drive, if you remember, we had so many problems from the last time. But it looks very nice, and they put the curb back in, and it is holding back the water since we got rain, and it's working. So I
Good.
just wanted to say thank you for working with us. I know that the last couple of times I've come in, I did mention I was an environmentalist, and I guess we're taking down a lot of trees, and you had mentioned at one time that you were looking to get free trees, or you were looking for.
Yes, in fact, I've spoken to several people since then. We are, I believe there is sometime in May, there's a cutoff period for requesting that. We will make that information available to all of our residents once we get the full details of the program. So essentially, we're trying to determine if you can request, if the residents should request the trees, or they can request them through the town and make one big request. That's what we're trying to work out. One thing that we can't necessarily do just to protect the town and everybody else is if we take the trees, we won't be able to plant those in the parkways.
The ones where the roots are still there.
No, I'm talking about new trees.
Oh, that's one of my questions.
Yeah, so-
When you're replacing sidewalks, the town comes along and says, we have to remove this, it's in the easement way. And I'm not sure who exactly has authority over the easement, it's probably.
It's the town's property.
Town's property, okay. So if you don't have to ask the owner to remove it, but you have to ask the owner to put it back?
No, we won't put them back as of right now. We're trying to work out another program. Because then the town may be responsible to maintain those, and we could have another problem in 20 or 30 years, long after we're long gone. People will be blaming the town for planting the trees and then have to maintain them, trim them and everything else.
Okay,
So-
so you're saying that possibly you have to give the owners to plant the trees?
Yes, that's what we're trying to work out the details on that.
I did notice in the park, I like the trees that you guys have planted, down the walkway. But I've noticed a lot of the trees that you're topping them off. Down the walkway, next to the original pavilion. I see that they've been topped off, and some of the ones by
The apple blossom or the
I don't know what they're called. But
What are
the
they called?
walkway that leads to the bathroom.
cherry blossom trees. Okay.
Okay, they've been topped off. And I didn't know you can do this, so I got this for you. But when you top off trees, this is from the Arbor Day Foundation.
Okay.
You cause more problems. And I figured we're chopping off so many trees as it is. I know, if you just wanted to see what the problems would be for
Okay.
a reputable
No, that's good.
or organization, just because, we're losing so many trees in this town, and before you take down, well, I guess now that we have to get the homeowners to approve the trees, to plant them. I know a lot of people will be resistant to it, which is.
Well, we're trying to work out something, and we got to work out the legal part of it. So
Oh, okay, that's how that has to work. You have to get the homeowners to actually agree to.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't want to even comment because
Oh, okay.
we're just trying to put a plan together.
Okay,
Okay.
I just wondered
If I could chime in, just one thing is, if you want to plant a tree in that area, you can, if it's approved, if it's an approved tree that we have posted on the website. You can do that on your own if it's approved. So we have certain type of trees that we have posted on the website that would be allowed to go into that.
Okay, so
area.
there's a list.
So we
of
don't
this.
end up with a 30-foot, a big monster tree that we have to cut down again at 20 or 30.
Right, the maples, which grow
Right.
on top, the oak
Yeah.
trees. we
So
have
there is an
didn't
approved
damage
list
anything.
that is
Okay.
available now that you can plant on your own.
Okay, well, we don't need them, but I guess there's the block behind me, that there isn't a tree in the easement all the way down. And I'm sure everyone else is looking at global warming and the planet warming up, and I just find trees to be extremely important. And I was just wondering if we were gonna be able to do at least a few or some trees.
Yes.
Before you start cutting down more in October, if we could,
Yeah, we will, give us a month or two.
Oh, yeah, no,
Well,
I'm just asking questions, and then I had mentioned that, like, the town of Munster and Maryville and Dyer, they do that city of trees, designation. And, I didn't know if you were still interested in that information, if the town wanted to try something like that. There's some requirements into doing it, I looked into it, and I didn't know
Okay.
if you would want to read it first, or.
But certainly, we're open to anything. We'd take a look at it.
Would
Sure.
you, I looked down the town and everyone has their emails
Mhm.
on there. Can I send you some information?
You can do that,
when I get
yeah.
that? Okay,
Okay, great.
okay. That was about it.
Okay, all right. And anybody ever? Yes.
My name is Rose Johnson, and I have a couple of questions about sidewalk replacement. I looked on the map, and as you know, I've said before, I'm directionally challenged in this town, but I do live behind the new Restaurant Depot, so that's where I'm at. And I know when you first had the map about the sidewalk replacement, and I'm going back sometime, but now, and I thought we were like in the section that was gonna be done like second or first. Now I look at that map and I see like we're more than 2 weeks out. I also see that it's like a 2-year program. Is there some way to find out, like, is it more than 2 weeks, is 2 months, or is it gonna be 2 years? you know, because I'm tired, you know, every time it rains, we have like a puddle in front. You know, my husband's sort of sick and, you know, he's raking, you know, sweeping the water. So is there some kind of closer timeline that we can get? And also, we live across from the 39th Lane Park, and I have seen the park board's 5-year program. That says we're getting new equipment. So I mean, I know that at the park, but the picnic table's gone, that's fine. And I swear one morning, the baby swings were still there. And then later on, the swings were pushed into the, taken out and put in the back. So now all that's there is some little fort type thing. And there's still some little kids that come. This morning I seen a grandma or mother, whatever. She had a little kid, and all that's there is this little fort thing and the swings that have a rope around them in the back. So do you have any plans or know anything about like when some swings were, or some equipment, when is the timeline of that? Those are the two.
I think it was spring of this year, so we're going to see what could possibly be done, you know, by the time it gets summer or, you know, May.
Okay, and the sidewalk thing, is it?
Just, if you could, just give me a call, and then I can review your exact address, and then I can you can just give me a call. So I'll be happy to review that, and because I got the list with the engineer, and then we can get back to exactly on where we tentatively think you're at.
Yeah, I know, I see the map and I know that we're like C3, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
it'd
just
be a
see more
lot
than 2
easier.
weeks, more than 2 months,
Yeah.
okay, you know, that's, so I just remember, but,
Just give me a call in town hall, and I'll give you some better information.
okay, I'm sorry, but who are you in town?
Oh, Andy Rab, the public works director.
I'm sorry, who?
Andy Rab, I'm the public works
Okay,
director.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
And I can give you an update, I'm Tim Diamond, I'm president of the Parks Board. So for 39th Lane Park, so when they did the restaurant depot, they did utilities. So we can't really build equipment on top of that line. So basically what we're doing, we're going to keep that right side as green space. So we can throw a bag or a tent or whatever, so people that's one. On the left side, that's why the table and other things were moved is, so equipment has been ordered, it's supposed to be, it was actually supposed to be installed on March 31st, but with supply chain issues, those kind of things, it's now targeted for like first week of May. So there's a piece of equipment to go there, that'll match color-wise with the existing castle piece in there. And then the swings, the baby swings will kind of go in the back where the other old swings were.
Okay.
So it's gonna just get relocated over there, get it freshen up, you know, face it away. So the next door neighbor gets concerned about kind of looking in their backyard.
Yeah.
So we're changing that angle where the other ones were. So all the playground equipment will be on the left side,
All right,
and then more green space on the right side. So that's kind of next one.
all right.
All right, okay. Thanks, Tim. Yes.
You know the tracks that are by the chemical company?
Yes, on Colfax?
Yeah. They are really, really, really bad. Is there any way you can make a call? Because, you know, your input will
Sure.
have more impact.
All right, let's determine if that is still, we'll find out what railroad owns the tracks, and then we'll make contact with them. And it may be an access one for American Chemical. We'll find out. Okay.
And the other thing is, and I hate to keep that more, the trash on South Arbogas. I don't know if you guys, anybody up there, do you go down Arbogas at all?
We do. Yeah, I never paid. I guess I didn't notice it when I went down there.
Don't.
Okay.
People go there to dump their trash. I don't like saying I live in Griffith. And then, you know, see all this trash. I grew up in South Chicago, it didn't look anything
Okay.
as bad, you know, as South Arbogas.
Okay.
People are ignorant, they just throw their stuff out the window.
Okay.
So is there any way we can get community service or?
We'll take a look. I think half of the road is, I think one side is Griffith, the other side is St. John Township. It's unincorporated area. So I guess we'll look at Public Works and see if there's something that we can try to put together or talk to.
Well, on the left, you know, if you're going south, on the left side, which there's been 2 bags of garbage there for over 2 months.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, my first thought is, isn't this good enough for Republic?
Not necessarily, no. Not. Yeah. We'll see if we can talk to the county and see if there's something they can do to help assist us.
We'll discuss it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'll take a look at that.
All right.
My name's Ron Elvin, I live on 37th and Broad there. And I was wondering if you could get a guardrail or something put up on 37th there for broad ends. Cause we got 3 times now, we have cars come through there and up into the yard. And we have patio and stuff there.
Okay.
And somebody's gonna get hurt or killed.
It's right
And just
as you start getting in behind the shopping center.
right,
Okay.
right there with broad ends.
Yeah.
The trucks.
Okay.
come through there, they don't stop.
Okay. All right. We'll take a look at.
Just the other night.
Okay. Is there any real reflective signage up there right now? Okay. We can do that fairly quickly.
Need something to stop the cars.
Okay. Okay.
Because we just had one come down there, took the telephone pole out, took the bushes
Get
out.
the
took the-
switchbacks out.
took the
Okay.
boxes for the
Okay.
phones out,
Everything.
took the fence out and flipped over on the side and turned all the way around, looked back north,
Okay.
and he didn't get hurt.
The
Okay.
power went out in the soul.
Oh, wow.
Put abutments and maybe
Okay.
reflective stuff in there. and
Need a
then-
guardrail or something.
Okay. All right. We'll take a look.
I would do that when Chief Vance, the safety commission.
Yeah. So very least we can get some kind of reflective stuff up there in the meantime, or within a few weeks, we should be able to get something if we have any. I don't know if we have anything in the yard or not, but
Need something. to
Not a
stop.
rail,
okay.
but we have reflectors.
Yeah, we'll
There's
address.
a ton of utilities right there.
All right. Okay. Very good.
There's kids that walk through there and elderly people and they're going to the strip mall because it's someplace they can
Mhm.
walk. So reflectors aren't gonna help those people. You need something, some sort of abutments that would stop it if you could.
Okay.
I mean, a reflector will help, but it's not gonna be.
All right, we'll take a look at it through the safety committee. I think that the probably meeting is about the next week or two, and then we'll look at the feasibility of where the property is, who owns the property, and getting on there and doing something. There's lots of stuff involved. Okay.
We all own the property.
Okay.
right? That's why we're.
All right.
And, but there's 700 people that live back in that
Yeah.
subdivision and the kids that.
Yeah, I know.
walk through there all
Okay.
the time.
All right, so we just need to see where the easements and right of entries would be, so that there's a little bit more involved in just plopping it up there. So, okay. All right, anybody else have any comments or questions tonight? Right, the meeting is adjourned.